Hi, my name is Jim Flynn. I am a seventh grade special ed teacher at the Hannah Moore School, which is a non-public school, and we're located at Severn River Middle School, which is about a half mile from AACC. And today I'm going to be talking to you about cerebral palsy. Our objective is to explain cerebral palsy, the symptoms, causes, impact on education, the classroom environment, and some teaching strategies you can use. Many people, if they were asked what the most common motor disability is in children, I think few would guess that it is cerebral palsy. We've heard about it, but most of us don't know that much about it. So hopefully you'll learn something in this presentation. Cerebral palsy, what is it? It's a group of neurological disorders and disabilities, all cause some degree of disability in the movement, balance, or posture. It's a disease that it manifests itself in the neuromuscular system. There's some examples of it. I'm not going to go into too much detail that's beyond the scope of this presentation. Some facts about cerebral palsy is that it is the most common motor disability. About 1 in 345 kids have it. More than half can walk independently. Most, if they have it, they could have other conditions, epilepsy being one of the more common ones. It's more common in boys than in girls. Some possible causes, all the causes flow from development in the womb or during pregnancy or during birth. Brain development, infections, the disruption of blood flow, genetic conditions, ingestions of toxins or drugs, damage to the head or skull, and complications related to premature delivery. How can you identify cerebral palsy? There's numerous symptoms. Here's some of the signs. Delays in movement and motor skills would be the biggest one. While all children are going to do some of these, just because that's the way little kids are, they're much more prevalent in infants with cerebral palsy. Here's a short little video. A pediatric neurosurgeon describes some of the signs of the disease. Some of the characteristics, slightly different from the symptoms: weakness or poor motor control on one side of the body, paralysis of upper or lower extremities called dysplasia, increased muscle tone, spasticity or hypertonia, or abnormal limpness, which is the opposite of and that's hypotonia. Many teaching strategies, a lot of these are the same ones you would use for any child with special needs. You want to fit the learning environment to them. Specialized equipment, adaptive keyboards, a lot of technology, if possible, computers, audiovisual aids, a lot of social skills teaching, communication. A lot of times, because of the disease, students will have a low self-esteem. So to make sure that you build them up and praise them, things like that. Distractions, which is something a lot of us deal with all the time, to try to minimize that. One of the things that might be useful is differentiated seating. My wife teaches first grade, and she uses this for her first graders. The children sit in non-traditional seats. They get more comfortable. It fits them better, leads to a better learning environment. Probably the biggest thing in the classroom is to make it a safe classroom, because it's a physical problem, so that there's no tripping hazards. There's a lot of mobility. The kids can move around the classroom easy. Would probably be the best teaching strategy to have. As we come to the end here with if we do some practical thinking, looking around your classroom, would it be accommodating to a student with cerebral palsy? And if not, what could you do to make it more accommodating? What would you try? Would you move things around? Would you need extra equipment? Things like this. These are things to think about. Finally, as we come to the end, we go to wrap it up. We go back to the objectives. We went over what it is, some of the symptoms, the signs, and some of the teaching strategies. I hope